Well, one of the first defects I found in the RV is along this table right here. The little cap trim is separated from the table itself. So if I can open this up, I'll be able to show you what it looks like here. And if I can get around the corner here, you can see where it's been separated. And so what I need to do is to remove this table and re-glue it. So that's the first step, is I'm going to remove these 4 screws, and then we'll get the table inside where we can work on it. Actually, we're only going to have to remove 2 screws, the 2 outer screws, because the other 2 screws hold the bottom bracket on. So this is going to be a little easier than I thought. So it's just going to take about 10 seconds here to remove these screws, and then we'll lift this bail off here, and now the table can come off. Well, now that I have the table off, you can see the crack here a lot easier, where this is just come off. Now this little piece here, I think I better take off so that I don't lose it. Now to the workshop. Well, since it's cold outside, I brought this in so I can have my workshop kind of down in the basement. And you can see right here, this is where it's upside down, but here's where the crack is. So what I need to do is simply just bring the screwdriver out through like this. There we go. That's probably all I need to do. And just kind of like that. And then I notice on this side, this doesn't quite fit flush. Here you can see, let me bring this up a little bit. You can see here where it's flush on the bottom, but on the top surface it's not flush. So what I really should do is, since I'm taking the time to do this, is trim this off just a little bit. So in order to do that, I'm going to just pull this off too a little bit here. There we go. And then all I need to do is just trim this piece here just slightly, and then I can put that back. Okay, I'm going to have to wait for this table to warm up a little bit more to get to room temperature before I mix some glue. And I'm going to use some epoxy, which when put in this crack here should penetrate real well, and it's a slow cure epoxy. It'll take probably 24 hours to cure, but putting epoxy there and clamping it down should take care of it. Okay, what I think I'm going to do to trim this, since it's not very thick, very much of an overhang, is this is a router bit. It's a flush edge router bit, and it's got a ball bearing here at the bottom. And when you put this down on here, the ball bearing will rest on this bottom half. And as long as I adjust the depth correctly, as they go across there, it should only remove this very small amount that's overhanging from here. Okay, now I've got my rotor bit set up here. I think I'm about ready. So let's give her a chance. Let's give her a try here. And there we go. Now that's flush. Very good. That was the way to do it. Now all I got to do on this side is simply, if I can do it easily enough, is put that back in. And now that looks like it bring it over here a little bit here. And it looks like it's much more flush here. So, okay, that was the easy part. Now on to the hard part. Okay, so what I'm going to use is this West System Epoxy Repair Pack. This is actually for boats, and it's some of the best epoxy you can buy in my estimation. You used to be able to buy this in 5 little packets. But now you can't. You can only buy it in a little kit like this, so it is a little more expensive. Basically what you got is you got 2 packets of epoxy, and way more than what I need for this project, so there's going to be a little waste, unfortunately. Now this stuff takes around 24 hours to dry, so you know it will give me plenty of time for this to soak in real well into the wood, especially this particle board. Okay, just a little piece of scrap Tyvek here, and I just pour everything out into here. Make sure you get all the good stuff out. These are not equal. The hardener is actually in a smaller quantity than the resin. Okay, now that that's done, basically all we have to do here is to mix this up, and just mix it up really good here so that you know, it actually does cure. So this will take a few seconds to do here. And while I'm doing this, I can point out some of the other parts of the kit. This is some silica. It's high density filler, which is kind of like a gap filler. And we really won't need that in this repair job here. Okay, I'll get this really good mixed up here. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I've got these small non-medical, I should point out, syringes. And let me get this out of the way here so you can see it a little better. There's just a pack of a bunch of these small syringes here, and they're just an easy method to get what you need to get to where you need to get it, and they just fit on here like this. So we'll just put some epoxy in here, and then we'll be ready to squirt it into the project. Okay, now I've got epoxy filled in here. And to tell you the truth, I probably should have used gloves, but I was real careful and wasn't able to splash anything around. So before I apply this, I think I would take some blue tape around the tabletop so that I don't get any epoxy on the table itself. Okay, so now I'm going to put some epoxy in. You probably can do a little bit if you pull this out a little bit, and then just take some epoxy and just kind of run it through there real good, get it all nice and soaked in here. Okay, and then once that's done, get myself a clamp here and clamp this down real good and tight and let it set overnight, and then we'll come back in the morning and see what it's like. Okay, now we're the next day here, and this thing is dried overnight, so pull the clamp out and take a look at the job, and I mean it's nice and strong. So we're gonna pull the blue tape off here, and then like we did before, we're gonna just pound her back. So that's all there is to it. Okay, so now let's inspect our work here. Looks like that's real flush here. It's not lifting over the top like it was. It's nice and held down real tight. And then take a look at the other side. The other side now, that's nice and flush too. So I think this is turned out successful, and the next step is just to install this back into the RV, which I'll do, but I won't make a video on that. You can surmise how that's done. Thanks for watching.